What's up, Luda? Welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. Today I am doing a look with the new Ocean Jewel palette from Beaute bar. So if you'd like to see how I got it, then just keep on watching. Hey y'all, let's do a more tropical ocean look with the new Ocean Jewel palette from Beaute bar. I'm taking the LO2 brush from Blend Bunny Cosmetics and Lens Makeup Looks and the shade Submerged. I'm going to work that on the outer V or outer C of my eye, working it about a third of the way into the crease. I'm going to pack that down and then slightly diffuse it a little bit and build up the shade. I think I said the LO2 brush, I meant LO3 brush, but with the LO3 brush, I'm taking the shade Jellyfish, and I'm going to work that from the submerged shade all the way down into my crease towards the inner corner of my eye, so pretty much the rest of the way through the crease. I'm just working on building up the shape, and I'm going to kind of go back and forth with it to gently diffuse it as I'm placing the shade. Now I'm taking the shade Cool Hog and I'm going to blend out Submerged with it. The purples in this palette instantly stole my heart. They are so beautiful, so pigmented, they blend out so easily, and purple is my favorite color, so I was just like, yes, I have to incorporate the purples somehow. So back and forth windshield wipe motions with the lightest amount of pressure. Now I'm taking the shade Sunken Treasure to blend out the blue, but I'm only going to place it about halfway onto the lid between the purple before I take it towards the inner corner. Just going to do that section. The blues are so gorgeous. I do love me a blue eyeshadow. Now for the inner third of the crease, I'm taking the shade Luminescence to blend that blue out. I love how vibrant this shade is. It paired with the yellow, they look neon. With the LO3 brush, I'm taking the shade Fleur de Lamar to blend that out on the purple side and soften it up. Do this very, very gently. You only want it to feel like a tickle. I feel like these shades blend out so effortlessly and so easily, and you can get a lot of depth and pigment from them. So if you're wanting to do like, just purple, you can do that in the crease and then use the second purple we used to soften it up and then this to make it real soft. And now I'm taking Sea Glass to really soften up that center part of the blue and doing back and forth windshield wipe motions. I love how this pastel just makes everything so soft and pretty. Now I'm taking the shade Sundial to blend out the inner third of my crease towards the bridge of my nose, and it's such a pretty shade. Look at how vibrant it is. And as I always say, blending is repetitive, but it's worth it, so I'm dipping back into Submerged just to bring it back a little bit to build that depth up and get that nice smokiness on that outer portion of my eye. I'm going to go back into our first shades a few times just to make sure I got everything built up and make sure it's all blended. So do this as much as you want to get it to that blend that you desire. Now I'm taking a little bit more of Sea Glass just to bring it back. And I'm sorry my crop was a little weird here. I don't know why my camera, actually I think my cat's not my camera around, so it was different. And now I'm taking a little bit more of Coal Hog just to soften up the blend from Submerged. That way I can kind of see each individual purple shade. And because blending is repetitive, though it is repetitive, it is very worth it. And now I'm going to take a little bit more of Fleur de Lamar and soften that up. Just doing back and forth windshield wipe motions in the shape of a C. And now I'm dipping back into a little bit more of Submerged just to make sure that it gives me that depth that I really wanted. And now I'm taking a little bit of my face powder with the LO6 brush just to make sure it's nice and melted into my skin and everything is nice and softened up. Now I'm taking some micellar water on a Q-tip to clean off my lid, clean out my crease, and get ready to carve out my crease with the Gerard Cosmetics Clean Canvas in Fair. And here I'm popping on a little bit more face powder just to make sure that it isn't too wet and the sparkles stay stuck. And now I'm taking the Makeup Shack T2 brush in the shade Heart of the Ocean, and I'm going to pop that on to that outer portion of the base and work it over about a third of the way. I feel like this is such a really pretty shifty shade, but my lights did not do it any kind of justice. It was just so pretty and matched the purples perfectly and beautifully. And now I'm going to pop on just a tiny bit of Avila to get it to be like the transition shade for the next sparkle. Now I'm taking the shade Nacre and I'm going to blend that with the purple side and take it a little farther than halfway over my lid. This shade really makes me think about walking on the beach and then like going out into the water and you just look as far as you can see and it's just the most beautiful thing in the world. And now I'm taking the shade Nautilus and I'm going to put that on the inner third of my lid. This shade is just so dreamy. This shade reminds me of being like on a pier at the beach and then you see like the reflex of the sun and it's just so crystal clear and beautiful, but also like you can see the colors. I don't know. I hope that makes sense, but it's just so pretty. Now I'm taking a little bit more of Heart of the Ocean just to get it nice and blended with the mattes and the blues. Now I'm taking the LO4 brush with a little bit more of Submerge just to kind of blend that onto the Heart of the Ocean shade so it's a more seamless and there's not a harsh line where the sparkles end and the mattes meet. Now I'm going to take a little bit of Mother of Pearl and pop that underneath the arch of my brow, and later I will use it for my inner corner highlighter. Look at how pretty those sparkles. I love the colors. Now I'm going to take some things from Manic Gems and accents and pop them on. Alright, I'm going to go do the rest of my face and I'll be right back. Alright, so this is the finished look. What do you think? I feel very mermaidy, so of course I had to dig out my mermaid earrings I made a couple years ago. I feel like they go with it alright, but the colors to this palette are just so pretty. The Ocean Jewel palette from Bella Beaute Bar is definitely so pretty. The colors, everything. I feel like Bella Beaute Bar never misses. I have fallen in love with their formula from the first time that I tried any of their stuff, which was Best Mattes palette. And ever since then, everything I've tried, I'm just like, wow, this is so good. And I had a feeling, I was like, okay, whatever is going to be underneath this packaging that they're revealing is going to be so pretty. And I was just like, oh my gosh, this makes me want to go to Pensacola Beach and just sit there and look at the water, because like these shades right here, the blue and the green, is giving me the vibe of when I first, or the second time I went. One of the times that I went, I'm just like, it's so beautiful there. This makes me want to go to the beach. And the formula blends so easily. The pigment is there, and of course, I'm going to keep opening and showing, I guess. But these shimmers, they're magical. I don't know like how to explain them other than they are so pretty. And when you touch them, they're so soft and buttery. And I really, really think that Mother of Pearl is a hollow. It looks like it to me, and it's very nice. I've been using it for my inner corner and brow highlighter since I started trying to make some looks with this. And Oyster is so pretty. I think it is a hollow as well. The others are the multi-chrome and duochromes, I believe. And The shade Heart of the Ocean is just so shifty. It's, I don't even know how to explain. It's like dark purple, dark blue with hints of like red. Very, very pretty. But yes, so I do want to say a huge thank you to Bella Beaute for sending me this palette. It is amazing, and I'm so excited to create more looks with it. So thank you so much for sending it to me. Have y'all picked this palette up yet? It should be available. I think it was available on the 29th. I could be thinking a day or two off. So this palette should be available now, unless it's sold out. Have you picked it up? Will you be picking it up? What are your thoughts on this palette? Do you like the look? Is it something you do? I didn't know what to do as far as, I just didn't want to doodle today. I've just kind of been on a, I don't really feel like doodling kick. Strange, I know, because I feel like I do it a lot. I was like, let me pull out some pearls and aquatic things and just go from there and just make it fancy. Alright, let me know what you'd like to see next down in the comments below. If you'd like to keep up with my awkward face and shenanigans while I'm not here on YouTube, then I have all my social medias linked in the description box down below. And if you'd like to keep up with me while I am here on YouTube, then please hit that subscribe button. It means so much to me and I can't thank you enough. And if you like this video, could you please give it a thumbs up? I heard it helps push my video out into the algorithm, so if you give it a thumbs up, then thank you. I want to thank you so much for watching, and I hope that I'll see you in the next one. Bye!